Men don't just change because they were using you. They changed because you started to use them. Not to say that you are doing it on purpose, but men are not stupid. They see what you're doing. They see past that. They see that you're playing games. They see that your communication skills are a bit immature, and you cannot blame him for his reaction over that. And I'm saying this with a lot of love. I love women. Sometimes they're a pain in the ass. Sometimes they piss me off. Sometimes I argue with them. But I love y'all because you guys have so much. You have so much potential in who you are. And if you don't use it, you're going to set yourself up for failure and misery. And you do not want to be the type of female who has misery. If I did not care about you, I would not be spending my energy, my emotions, and my time into all of this. If this person was good enough for you to date or talk to or sleep with, then this person is also good enough to work through things with and make sure it works out. This man was never a waste of time because you know deep down in your heart, he's a good person. You have all the proof already. Don't fuck that up. Apologize. Take accountability. Continue to communicate. That's it.
Where are all the good men trying to get away from you for obvious reasons that we see? You're not a good person, man.
We've talked about this, about how women chivalry, and that is 110% true. And they did that by constantly smacking the hand of the men who wanted to open the door for them or wanted to say, hey, do you need some help with that bag? It looks kind of heavy. I don't need your help. I'm perfectly capable of doing it myself. Like all of that boss babe, I don't need you stuff. Chivalry. And now they're complaining. Now they're like, we're all the good gentlemen, right? And it's a trick, guys, because then you turn around and you act like a really good gentleman. And then they say, you're like demeaning me. You think I can't open my door for myself. So they're twisted.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
If you're dating a guy and he brings out the little girl in you, the inner child in you, you're dating a real man. But if you're dating a guy and he brings out the motherly instincts in you, you're dating a grown boy. Now, if you're dating a guy and he brings out the masculinity in you, the toughness in you, you're dating a loser. Now, which one are you dating? Enjoy your day, Nat Nation. Bye.
A lot of these modern women continue to try to manipulate men and move men into a space that they want men to be. And they're wondering why men are not going for it. Because it's dumb.
Ladies, listen to me. Everything that men do is 100% intentional. Everything that a man does, he does it with intention. You guys are living in La La Land. You guys have been watching Disney too much. I need you guys to wake up and smell the coffee. Everything that a man does is 100% intentional. Okay, so if he's not replying to you after so many hours, if he's taking hours to reply back to you, he knows what he's doing. If he hasn't spoken to you in weeks, he knows what he's doing. If he's texting you but not planning a date, he knows what he's doing. He has a plan, and that plan just means you're not included in that plan.
Listen, I don't think submission is exclusive to men or women, but if you want to generalize, men are more submissive. They just are. Okay, women are way better leaders. They don't need to be told what to do. They don't like being told what to do. That's why in order to be submissive, they have to be oppressed with no rights, right? Men love being told what to do. They need it, actually. All right, that, like, no one respects a man in power like other men. That's why men are better soldiers, because they listen. They always got to be told what to do. How the f do you think you're a leader of a household when you can't even, like, take the trash out without someone telling you it needs to be taken out? Some of you can't even go to the grocery store without, like, calling your wife a million times. Okay? Women are not submissive.
I seen a young lady on here the other day telling us how she had to pretty much cut off a bunch of guys on her roster. And then she went on to say that she feels like women are going to be single forever. I really wish I would have saved it because it was very entertaining the way she was telling the stories. But I don't think that women are necessarily going to be single moving forward forever. I just think that we're going to see an increase in women having a lover or lovers instead of the traditional boyfriend, girlfriend, or marriage dynamic that we all are used to. Now, this is not going to apply to all women because some of y'all don't even have the mental capacity, the wherewithal, or the bandwidth for multiple lovers in your life anyway. But yeah, I do think that that's what we're going to see. Women are just going to opt out of the traditional relationship standards that have been set before us and just opt to just have somebody that's cool with you, you cool with them, and y'all link up and do what you do, might go on a date here and there, and nothing more, nothing less.
A lot of these modern women don't really understand that men have finally realized that what we have going on here is not really a partnership. It's me being a servant to you and you doing nothing.
Hey y'all, quick fit check. Me and my mother are about to go out, and I was like, let's twin. We've never done this before. So we're twinning in Ira that drops February 22nd. She's so cute. I'm wearing a size small, top and bottom. I got this rosary. I'm not gonna wear a purse tonight. No earrings, actually. I don't know why I just did that. And then I got these white sweats. I have like nothing over here. And then
I have on a large in the bottoms. The top is a small. Look at the, oh my God, look at the sleeves, my favorite. And I'm wearing a nude heel. Hey! Woo!
Sensational.
Women often say there is not enough good men to date anymore, and actually data backs this up. On Tinder, the average guy is liked by less than 1% of the women on Tinder. Think about it, like 1 in every 115, which is a vast inequality on dating apps alone. You can compare it to like 95% of the world's economy. I have notes on the screen. If you see me looking, that's why. So why is this? Well, studies often show that women don't just filter for attractiveness, they filter for income, they filter for status, ambition. All these things make up who they're going to choose. Because of this, 80% of men on dating apps are rated unattractive by women. The result is a tiny portion of men getting all the attention. And this creates a really bad dichotomy, where a lot of these men, because they are eligible candidates, don't feel the need to settle down because they have all the options. These studies also show that men swipe way out of their league, which floods the woman's account with attention, so they're more selective, and it's so much deeper than just the apps. But a question still stands. Are the standards rising, or are expectations just completely disconnected from reality?
And once again, when you see this type of stupidity and you hear this type of stupidity, this is why a lot more men are deciding it's not worth it, man. I'd rather have peace.
You know what is both terrifying and revolting?
What? I can only imagine.
When a man says I'm pretty.
Right. Okay, then. So, ladies, I'm sure some of you are wondering what exactly this is about. Well, I have seen lots of videos out there of women asking why men don't seem to want to take women out on dates, why they don't seem to be interested, and why they most certainly have really stopped approaching women in public at all. Well, you just saw one of the many reasons why. Because unfortunately, social media is virtually saturated with lots of women indicating how much they dislike men, they don't want them near them, and they don't even want what would be considered to be positive attention from any man in the form of a compliment, because those are apparently terrifying. And ladies, if you want men to start being interested again, you have to start acting like you don't despise them.
Want to know the fastest way to turn your man into a roommate? Keep telling him no, and then you'll be wondering, why doesn't he initiate anymore? He doesn't seem attracted to me. Men aren't stupid, and the repeated rejection really hurts after a while. He eventually stops trying, even though he desperately wants it, yes. And then his attraction to you starts to unalive slowly. For a lot of men, that's how they get close to you. That's how they get validation from the relationship. It's not just physical for them. And that constant refusal tells him that you don't even want him. And yes, ladies, I understand there's medical conditions, something going on. Just have those honest conversations with him and then start working on addressing those things. And after a while, he might also start feeling like a burden completely. He might think he's annoying or even disgusting for wanting you like that, which no man should ever have to feel like that. And I mean, you want resentment? That's what you're getting too. And especially in a situation where you ask a lot from him in general, and maybe you don't even realize it anymore, you just take it for granted and you don't pay attention or notice, that makes everything worse. Because are you guys in a relationship or are you like business partners?
I don't think these modern women really understand that men know that you're lying. They know you're lying, and that's why they don't trust you. You're full of lies. You're not doing anything else but lying and trying to get your way.
This one might get me into a lot of trouble, but it is not a big deal for a man to approach you that might be interested in you. You are overthinking it because all you have to say is, no, thank you, I'm not interested. But if you actually get offended by it because you see yourself at a higher level than him, that sounds like a you problem. And I know that a lot of women are going to get triggered by this because they're going to take that as me saying that women should want to be approached by men, but that is not what I'm saying. Absolutely, women have the right to not want to be approached by men, but what they should do is put themselves in men's shoes. And men that want to find a relationship, they need to approach women. That does not translate to you feeling pressured to filling that role for that man because he's not even thinking that. He's literally fishing. He's just interested in your looks, essentially, or maybe a little bit of your personality that he's been able to witness from a distance, and he's just putting it out there. He's seeing if you're interested. He is fine with the no, but what he's not fine with is being shamed for approaching you in the first place. And he's not okay with you feeling so insulted by him to even think that he had a chance with you. Although it will help him get over you super quickly because that attitude is so unattractive.
You know what's funny about everything that's going on is a lot of men are figuring out exactly the moment to fall back. I'm not staying in, not a moment more, not a moment less. I'm starting to learn the moment, the exact space and time that I need to fall back from these modern women.
I think I have decided that lesbians specifically are way more toxic than men. Not all of them, but I'm just saying, in general, I think lesbians are more toxic.
Literally makes me cringe and shiver in my boots is when femme girls treat their masked girlfriend like a boy. Like, baby, isn't the whole point of being that you're dating a girl? So why are you treating your masked girl, even though she dresses like a boy, why are you treating her like she's a boy? Just because of the way she dresses doesn't mean she wants to be treated like a boy. Unless you've been talking about it and she likes it. But there doesn't have to be a man of the relationship because the whole point is two women. So why would there be a man?
We are women too, okay? I thought you knew that when you raised your goddamn hand and signed up and said that you wanted to be in a lesbian relationship, but you still wanted to be the feminine one, that you understood that you was going to receive a stud woman, right? I like flowers and too. I like compliments. I like glitter. But there's a man. Y'all be acting like we ain't gonna have no emotions. I'm not a man. I might cry. Talking about. So treat me like I am a woman. I'm a woman too. I thought you understood. Like, stop. Hey, this is for all the feminine women, okay? We are women too, okay? If you want some compliments, throw some this way. You want some flowers, bring me some. You talking about I like my glittery too. I want some creep shit too. I'm a woman too.
Straight women think that men are the problem because they don't date women. As a woman who dates women, there's plenty wrong with women. Believe me.
And what modern women continue to try to do to men is they try to, oh, well, I'm just going to dump this on him and I want him to do this and I want him to do that. Well, no, we're not going to do that. You're going to be helping in this relationship. You're not going to dump everything on me and have me stressed out. And then when I get home from work, you're going to be all up in my face, adding more problems to my plate? No.
Why don't you ever date white guys? Why don't you give white guys a chance? It's because every time that I've tried to talk to a white guy, the first question that they always ask me is if I've ever been with a black guy. Like, are you afraid that you're just too small or something? Like, what is the point of you asking me that? The second that I do say yes, their demeanor changes. Everyone has their own preferences, and I just like my men a little seasoned, okay? Sorry.
Okay, y'all, let me ask y'all a question. How many of y'all have heard this famous quote? Once you go black, you'll never go back. But majority of most people don't understand its true meaning. Like this video, go to this young lady page, watch some of her other videos for a bunch of original content. She makes a bunch of good stuff. I love when we have these type of discussions. Because the chocolate side of social media overall is extremely narrow-minded. We tend to think only within our little bubble when we fail to realize other ethnicities have the exact same discussions that we be having. The same insecurities, biases, and prejudice. Relationship woes, 50-50, we all have the exact same conversation, but majority of us can't tend to think outside the box. Once you go black, you will never go back, was a sign of disrespect. Back in the day, Caucasian men had found that you had slept with an African American man that considered you damaged goods, and they didn't want no business entertaining you anymore. So when that man asked you that question, you know where it was coming from. A major place of insecurities, and they see you less valuable. Even in adult entertainment, if you was an adult entertainment star and you were a woman, as long as you entertained those specific men, you were okay. If you entertain anybody outside of that, you made less money. Leave a comment in the comment section. But y'all growing to do what y'all want to do.
Side.
But these are my kids.
And I'm not debating that. I'm just saying you've been hollering all day and maybe you're just stressed out. That's all I'm saying.
Everybody else.
I'm saying I can always help any way that I can. I can keep them some days to get you some rest or something like that because you holler a lot and I'm saying I know you stressed out. You work a lot, baby. I'm not trying to be in your business, but we have been neighbors for a year.
This is so tired. Like, you know how being a single mom?
No.
It's tiring. I can't speak no more. It's tiring. You wake up, you get phone calls all the time. Kids ain't acting right. You got to get whoopings all the time. Then you got the society on you. I'm trying to make sure they don't raise to where they get by these police. They don't get beat up by these other boys in the street. I don't need nobody else telling me what to do.
I know.
I'm the only one with these kids 5 days a week, 365 days a year.
I'm offering if I could help, if I could. You know, that's all I'm saying. That's what I hear. I just hear you all the time. And I get it, honey. And I don't want to upset you no more, but I'm saying that's all I hear you over there. And I do a lot of praying for you because I know. And sweetheart, I'm so sorry. And they love you. They love you. Don't cry. Lord, have mercy. Y'all see how y'all, come on now. Give your mother a hug. Come on. Y'all got to do better, y'all, in school and stuff now. This is all you got. All you got. I'll help you. I will. I promise you, I'll help you. They gonna do right. Y'all gonna do better? Y'all gonna try to do better? Yes. Okay. All right. So let me know what I can do, baby. Here, just come on over. You're not by yourself. I know it seemed like you're not by yourself. You're not by.
When you ask, how's my ex dating someone already? Like, how are they moved on already? That's not actually the question you're really asking. Okay, the real question is, does the fact that he moved on so fast mean I didn't matter? Does it mean that I never actually meant anything to him or that they never loved me? Does it mean that there's something wrong with me that it made me so easy to freaking replace? The answer to all of these is no, okay? But that's the question underneath. Now, why does this actually happen, okay? Why do they do this? Well, some people, especially avoidant ones, do not sit with discomfort. They can't, okay? Their entire nervous system is wired to escape emotional pain through distraction, momentum, and replacement. Any person is not a connection, it's anesthesia, okay? It's something to focus on so you don't have to feel the weight of what just ended, right? It's their nervous system doing what it always does when intimacy gets uncomfortable. Finding an exit it and moving fast before feeling catch up. Moving on quickly is not strength. It's not proof that they didn't care about you. It's not evidence that you weren't enough, okay? It is proof that they do not know how to be alone with themselves. They never did. Now, I know me saying this doesn't necessarily fix the pain of watching it happen, okay? I know you can intellectually understand everything I just said and still feel like you got punched in the chest when you saw it. That is real, and I'm not dismissing that, but here's the part that actually matters for your feeling. Why are you still watching? Not to shame you, but just genuinely. But think about it, okay? Are you checking their profile? You're tracking whether he's posted with someone new? You're monitoring how happy he looks? And what is that actually? That's your nervous system doing the exact same thing his is doing. Outsourcing. His peace depends on a new person to distract him. Your peace depends on his life to tell you whether you're okay. If he's miserable, you feel validated. If he looks happy, you spiral, which means his emotional state is still regulating yours, which means you're still emotionally in the relationship. Okay? That's not a character flaw. That is an open loop. That is a nervous system that has not yet learned to source its peace from the inside. His moving on quickly is about him. Your obsession with his moving on is about you. And that is actually great news because you cannot control what he does, but you can close the tap. You can redirect your nervous system back to yourself. You can start building the internal regulation he was never actually going to give you in the first place. That is the work, not watching him live his life. Building yours, okay? If you're ready to stop outsourcing your peace and actually close this chapter, comment 63 below and I'll send you the information about my Becoming Her program. We just opened a new cohort. You got this. I believe in you. Peace.
Yeah, that's real. He's hitting on something people miss. It's not about how fast he moved on. It's about you still being stuck in his business, trying to get answers from his life instead of building your own. You can't heal while you're monitoring someone else's healing. That's the whole thing. Close the app, stop checking, and actually move.
I think it's so funny that women have told men time and time and time again what makes us attracted to them and what we look for in a partner. And they're still utterly convinced that, like, if you're not 6'5" with $5 million in the bank, that we aren't going to want to sleep with you or date you. My ex-boyfriend, who I dated for like 4.5 years, he had everything going for him. And I just still wasn't sure that I felt that spark until I found a notebook that he had left at my house. It turns out it was a sketchbook filled with these really incredible, technically impressive, vulnerable paintings and sketches. And I was like, oh, okay. There was another guy, he, you know, was tall, he was good looking, he was smart and funny, but I didn't really feel that way about him until we had a chat one day and he let slip that he like volunteered at soup kitchens on the weekend. And, you know, I multiple times saw him pull his car over to buy food and water for someone who was unhoused. And I was like, I don't know a single woman who has said to me, I just really want a tall, rich guy, and that's it. Like, I don't care what kind of a person he is. I don't care if he's good to me. I don't care if he's trying to make the world a better place. I just want them tall and rich. That has never happened in the history of ever. I do know a ton of women who find bodybuilders and looks maxers repulsive. Like that guy Clavicle. That's disgusting. Nobody wants to be around a man who is so insecure that he spends all of his time tracking macros and lifting heavy things and then putting them back down to the detriment of his mental health and his character development as a person. Like, no one wants that. It's really hard to be around men who hate themselves. When women hate ourselves, when we have insecurities, we turn it inward. We punish ourselves, like, which is not a good thing, to be clear. But when men are insecure, their wives and children, or they hit themselves in the face with hammers because they think it's going to change their bone structure.
Nah, she's hitting on something real here. A lot of men got tired of hearing mixed messages, so they just stopped trying to read between the lines. They built a whole identity around the one thing they thought was simple and measurable. But that's the thing. Women have been saying the same thing for years. Character matters. Effort matters. How you treat people matters. Most guys just weren't listening.
I'm going to try to say this without, like the algorithm flagging my... So this lady caught herself getting involved with a guy in prison. Like, it wasn't like she hooked up with him and then he went to prison. Homeboy was already in prison when she decided to get in the bathroom and then get pregnant by a dude who's in prison for God knows what. And all I could think about is your standards that gutter trash, like your standards in men is so deep in the very pits of that even the devil himself is like, God, so you really don't have options, right? You settle for a dude who's already in jail. I don't know what's worse. The fact that you got dumped in the bathroom by a dude who's in jail, who don't want to do with you, and now you're pregnant. And he can't even take care of it. You couldn't even put him on child support because he's an inmate making slave wages. I don't know what's worse, her or the chick who slept with a disabled dude, a special ed dude with a micro wee, and then caught herself trying to be on, Al Gore's internet talk. And I'm going to have to echo the sentiments of my good mutual. So regular dudes didn't want you. You weren't pretty enough to pull a regular dude. So you pulled a special ed dude and then thought it was a flex to talk about him. You weren't good enough for a regular dude, so you had to settle for a special ed dude. So she wasn't good enough for a dude who's walking around free that doesn't have a criminal record, so she had to settle for an inmate. The inmate in turn played in her face after she got pregnant. Ladies, y'all prove every day you have no standards, you have no morals, and y'all want to sit there and talk about the men? Gentlemen, I am so sorry for the pie comment. You do have standards. I apologize for the pie reference. Do you forgive me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You do have standards. You do have limits. Because when women gotta settle for getting with an inmate and getting in the bathroom or getting with a special ed dude, you do have standards. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
I don't have a boyfriend, but I do have a lot. So go on those dates, ladies.
I don't have a boyfriend, but I do have a lot. You may recognize this statement as a different form of I am the table. I don't have a boyfriend, meaning I have not promised anything to anyone, but I do have a lot of things promised to me or already delivered. Let's hear the story.
I started going on dates last August. It is also August. So I've been dating for a year now, and I don't have a boyfriend. But let me tell you what I do have. I have a financial advisor. I have a physical therapist. I have a CEO to get investment and business advice from. I have a plastic surgery doctor. I have a man who fixed my car for me. While I don't have a boyfriend, I do have many other professions now in my back pocket. I have a man who knew I wanted a G7X. He's gonna watch this. He knew I wanted a G7X, and so he bought it. I paid him for it. I wouldn't do that, but I couldn't get it on the drops, and he got it for me.
All right, got it. I'm going to lead you through the transaction using worksheets from my packet called The Table. Now, as you fill out the table, be sure to reference the table table, which is a table of things to put on the table. A lot of these are overlooked. When we think of what you bring to the table, we usually think of things like your money that you've earned or your body or cooking and cleaning, and those are all just physical things that you have or do. But also you can bring your situation, which might be your social status or roles that you play in society. Maybe you're a leader somewhere. It includes your personality characteristics and things about who you are, like maybe you have a lot of patience. That's very rare and valuable. And you can even bring your relationships to others and your life history and the things that you're connected to. I have at times in the past been friends with someone and it made me very, very popular. So what you do is you figure out everything you have to bring to the table and then you put it on the table. So the top is player 1 and the bottom is player 2. And in this case, there are, I think, 7 guys and they are bringing, let me check, there was 6. And what they are bringing is finance advice, physical therapy, investment management, plastic surgery, auto repair, and career services. And that's all we know. We don't have anything to put here or here in this particular story. And we can only assume what they want, which is most likely just don't talk to other dudes. And that's a problem since there is 6 of them. I put that in the would be nice category since obviously they're not making sure of it. Now let's look at what she wants. There are different levels of want. There are things that you don't want, and there are things that you don't care about. We don't know of either of those. And then there's things that she needs and things that would be nice. And we don't know for sure, but it sounds to me like she would not be talking to any of these guys if they weren't doing these things for her. So we're going to put that all in the need category. And then there's what she's bringing, which is, I guess, me probably, which means I will text some of you back sometimes. It doesn't seem like there's much more of a relationship here. And then I'm going to assume that she doesn't want to bring effort, attention, or hope since she's not doing it. So now you have your exchange. What these guys are bringing to the table is 6 different professional quality services. And what they want in exchange is attention and exclusivity, and she's not willing to give any. So we'll just fill up these meters. These guys are giving about, I would estimate, 70% of a relationship's worth of effort, and she is receiving it, and she is giving about 2% of the effort that she could give, and the guys are receiving nothing because they don't want what she's offering, which is just answering texts. Now,
why is it so hard dating in 2026? Somebody answer that for me. Quickly. So, hey besties, let's talk about why is it hard dating in 2026. Now, I'm going to speak specifically for Gen Z. I can't speak for no other generation. But for Gen Z, I personally feel like it's a accountability thing on both ends, and I'm going to tell you why. But I do think it's mostly the men's fault. Don't hate me. But you do have your guys who only come to a girl because they want to have sex. They only stringing her along or being with her because they don't want to see nobody else with her. Or they want to do everything under the sun that's a relationship thing, but don't want the commitment or the responsibility. And I mean, it could be vice versa. But most females I know, we don't do casual. We like to be, we know what we want and we want to be in a relationship. We want to be in love. Like, we don't do casual. I will also say, you dudes, y'all prefer The girl who shake her butt for social media, who don't have no ambition, not chasing no dreams or goals or any of that, versus the girl on this side who's working, taking care of herself, chasing her dreams, and has ambition and dedicating herself to something to better herself. Y'all don't like the good girl, and I don't know why. And I was just asking somebody, like, I work 2 jobs. I got my own car. I'm in school. I'm doing something with my life. But why is it that the good girl never wins? Why? But on the other hand, y'all go to the girl with no self-respect and y'all treat her so right. And then when she do you wrong, you go back to the good girl and you try to take that behavior or that hurt out on her for the bad decision that you made. But I feel like it also can go hand in hand with females taking out their hurt and anger on a good dude. Because I will say, it's coming up on a year since I've been out of my relationship. And sometimes I do still get iffy about it. And I'm like in therapy and stuff to like resolve my emotions or whatever and my anger from that. But I found myself taking it out on a dude who did not deserve it. A dude who was taking me out, paying for stuff and all of that. And I took out my anger on him. And I don't even know why. Like, I couldn't tell you. Like, I don't even know why. But it's like, he didn't deserve that. And I think a lot of us need to stop trying to jump from, and this is what my counselor told me. A lot of us need to stop jumping from person to person, trying to get a distraction and take a step back to heal and unpack the necessary baggage we need to, instead of going to hurt somebody else who don't deserve it. And while I do think it's mostly the dude's fault, I know I can take accountability for the person that I hurt. Or, you know, like all of us need, because I'm sure all of us have treated somebody some way that we're not proud of. And we should all take accountability. Or we should all just, I don't really know. I don't have the answer all the way. But like, I just want to know, what do y'all think makes dating hard? Because for me, that's what I think it is. Then that's why I'm taking a step back. Because I don't want nobody around me. Leave me alone. Like, for real. Okay, bye.
A lot of modern women don't realize that men are opting out of this type of stuff. This type of, you hear it, and men will be like, oh man, let me try. And this is what women say, oh, well, a man don't yearn. What they really mean is a man is not trying to force the issue. He's not giving me any sort of, I rejected him, but I wanted the game to go on a little bit more. And a lot of men are stopping that and saying, I'll go do something else.